Greetings. My name is Nathalie Maura Soetopo from Bandung Institute of Technology, and from this occasion, I will be presenting the research that I've done, which is on the topic of a study of factors influencing purchasing decision towards wellness services in Indonesia. First, let us talk about the global wellness condition. Since 2015, the United Nations has established the third SDG, which is on the good health and well-being. This shows that the SDG is aware on the importance of health and well-being. And since the COVID emerged, there is a new term of wellness that is more frequently used to describe a holistic health, where it consists of six pillars, which is the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and environmental. Indonesia, as one of the country with a very huge demographic numbers, it shows that Indonesians still have some wellness problems. Well, based on data, it shows that the high populated area, which is Indonesia, still have low physical fitness level and physical participation. And not just that, since the COVID-19, there's an increase of workaholism, which negatively affect social, emotional, and health condition of an individualism. But on the other hand, Indonesia also consists of a very huge wellness opportunity, where in 2019 it reached 36.4 billion USD for the wellness economy and also ranked 19th worldwide, which is showing the big potential that Indonesia has. By then, it is important for businesses in Indonesia or startups to maximize the potential of the wellness industry. And one of them is by understanding on the customer preferences, specifically on the factors that influence purchase decision of wellness services in Indonesia. Because mentioned by a previous study that by understanding the factors influencing purchase decision, it would help business to achieve success. By then, specifically in this research, it has two main research questions, which is what are the factors that influence the customer purchase decision towards wellness services in Indonesia? And what are the marketing recommendations for a company based on the findings that it has from the first question? Yet, two research objective, which is to identify the factors that influence the customer purchase decision, and also to identify marketing recommendations based on the findings that is achieved from the previous ones. So the research scope will be that this research is limited for the population only for female and male aged 20 to 35 years old based in Jabodetabek and Bandung, which has purchased wellness services. And also that the wellness services is specifically talking about yoga, meditation, and self-reflection. The research itself specifically talks about the wellness services because the research company is on the wellness is working and offering wellness services in Indonesia. And yet there is also research limitation where there is very limited supportive research where there are limited research discussing specifically on the customer purchasing decision in wellness services in Indonesia. So for the literature review, there is a theoretical foundations, which is the first one is wellness services. In this research, the wellness service itself is defined as health services, programs, or activities that focus on promotion and maintenance of good health, which consists of two main wellness sectors, which is the first one is physical activity, and the second one is on mental wellness. The second one is the purchase decision, which will be the dependent variable. It shows on how customers behave, including seeking, purchasing, using, and reviewing the needs. And by understanding the purchase decision, it can help marketers in utilizing and maximizing the best marketing tools and strategies. Yet also mentioned previously that by understanding the purchase decision, it can help a business to succeed. And moving on, we will discuss also for the independent variable, which is the first one is brand image. Brand image is defined as on how consumers think and feel about the brand. And from the previous research, it is mentioned that brand image has a influence to the customer purchase decision. The second variable is on the electronic word of mouth or EWOM. It is on how the customer emphasizes on the positive and negative aspect of a services through online platforms. And also mentioned from a previous theory that EWOM have a huge contribution to the customer purchase decision. The third one is perceived quality. It is on how the customer perceive the overall quality of the service, which will be intended to use for the comparison to alternatives. and also mentioned that perceived quality have an influence and positive effect on purchase decision. The third one and the fourth one is on marketing cues, which consists of the 4P of marketing mix, which is the price, promotion, place, and product. However, to reduce the redundancy of the product, which is discussed on the perceived quality, it is not included in here. So the marketing cues only consist of place, promotion, and price. And mentioned from the previous research that these three also has a positive influence and also has a significant influence to the purchase decision. And lastly is the perceived CEO image, which discuss on the overall mental picture of a person. And slightly different, perceived CEO is considered as a moderating variable, what it has positive and significant moderating effect to the association between brand image, EWAM, perceived qualities, and also marketing cues towards the customer purchase decision. So, the conceptual framework was taken from a previous study, which is a purpose model of purchase decisions by young adults in Malaysia beauty, health, and wellness industry by Havis in 2017. The researcher decided to use the same conceptual framework and also the same variables due to the three arguments. The first one, it is because both researchers had the same objective, which is to identify factors that influence the purchase decision in wellness industry. Second is because that both researchers have the same market or population, which is the young adults. And lastly, is because of the both researchers have the same similarities in the demographic area between Malaysia and Indonesia. By then, through the same proposed model, it is proposed into 8 hypotheses, which is mentioned here in this slide. And for this research, it will go through this research design where it will start it from a preliminary research and ended up with a conclusion and recommendation for Indonesia wellness services companies. Specifically, through this research, it will use a quantitative approach using online questionnaires to Google Forms delivered in both English and Bahasa and will be actually shared through social media, which is Instagram and WhatsApp. Specifically, for the data collection, the population will be female and male between 20 to 35 years old, domiciled in Bandung and Jakarta, Bogor, Depok, Tangerang, Bekasi, or mentioned also as Jabodetabek, and have either purchased wellness services from the selected 5 brands, which are MELF, the Sanctuary Wellness Center, Sula Wellness Club, Mujakarta, and Motivco. And for the sampling technique, the research will conduct a non-probability. Using the Cochrane formula, the research needs minimal 97 respondents. And using the quota sampling based on Instagram followers with the specific percentage mentioned here in the slide. And the data analysis will be conducted from 8 steps, which is mentioned also in the slides. And through the data analysis with a total of 128 respondents, the research find and get this results, where from the total of 8 hypotheses, there is only one hypothesis that is not rejected, which is the marketing cues that has a positive and significant influence to the purchase decision. While brand image and also perceived quality, they do not have a significant influence towards the purchase decision, but shown to have a positive influence for it. So, the brand image and perceived quality can also be considered later on. While for the moderating effect or the variable, the perceived CEO shown not to have any significant influence to the purchase decision, but for the perceived CEO, for the EWAM and also perceived quality, it's shown that the perceived CEO has a positive moderating influence between EWAM and perceived quality towards the purchase decision. Not just that, the other findings that the researchers gain, since there's only one hypothesis that is not rejected in this research, and shows that the proposed model is not the most suitable model for the wellness services in Indonesia. Therefore, the research also assumes that there is a different preference and perception of wellness, health, and beauty industry from the proposed model itself. By then, through the findings that gained through the research, the research proposed some recommendations specifically for the business and the future research. The first one is on the business recommendation, where the researcher proposed 4. The first one is promotion based on demographic and target market, because one of the composition of marketing cues is promotion that has positive and significant influence. Hence, it is important for wellness services and brands in Indonesia to provide promotion that is specifically based on their demographic. For example, for brands that has a more target market in students, they can provide promotions specifically for students. The second one is to provide clear information about place or location of the service. One of the aspect of marketing cues is on place, which has positive and significant influence to the purchase decision. Hence, it is important to provide information about the location or place, which can be conducted from social media, which is the most used marketing channels that can be delivered to pictures or videos. And the second one is that the brands can also provide specific Google Map links to help the customers to ensure the locations of the wellness services. The third one is to build strong and persistent brand image. Although brand image do not have a significant influence to the purchase decision, it shows that it has a positive relationship. By then, it is important to have a to have strong and persistent brand image, and the brand image need to be suitable and need to be ensure that it suits the market itself. Hence, it's important for a business to ask feedback from regarding the brand image. And lastly, to promote the service quality through social media, as also the service quality has a positive influence to the purchase decision, although it is not significant. The brands can also consider the service quality as one of the marketing strategies. And as also mentioned and also identified, that the perceived CEO has a positive influence to the perceived quality and the purchase decision. Hence, in the long term, businesses can actually consider to build the personal branding of the CEO. And for the research, future research, as the research really aware that there are limitations in this research, hence the future research can first creating a bigger scope of wellness services with bigger number of respondents to ensure there is bigger findings in the future research as well. The second one is that because there's only one hypothesis that is not rejected in this research, hence the research see that there is a very big room for exploration. So the future research can explore on other factors that may influence the purchase decision of wellness services in Indonesia. And lastly, because from this research, it is find out that marketing cues has a positive and significant influence while to the purchase decision, while marketing cues itself consists of three things, which is the place, promotion, and price. Hence, future research can also do further and more in-depth research specifically on marketing cues to find out a more specific outcomes as well, so that we can also give a more specific recommendations for the price, promotions, and place for the wellness services in Indonesia. So that's it from the research findings from this research, and I hope that the findings can help and become beneficial for the society. Thank you so much for listening, and hope you have a great day.